Gentlemen, YouTube, we have a market crash on the way, but we still have a few days until that happens. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what's going to happen to the market, and I'll kind of walk you through which players you should be selling from your team and which players you should be keeping. But first, let's get a few things out of the way. When is this market crash happening? Easter morning, Sunday, the 17th, 10:30 East Coast time AM, 7:30 AM West Coast time is hopefully when the eggs go live. Secondly, should you be selling your entire team? Well, for the most part, yes, but there are quite a few types of cards that from a tax standpoint just don't make sense to sell. Taking a look at kind of the sell point timeline that is in comparison to the training demand timeline over the next few days. Thursday, we really just have Easter egg demand. Friday and Saturday, we have that training demand because of the LTDs from Sugar Rush Part 2 combined with the Easter egg demand on Friday and Saturday. And of course, Sunday, we're going to have absolutely zero demand. But the big thing to note is you still have till Saturday, right? You have till really Saturday night, Sunday morning, even if you're on before the Easter eggs do hatch, to sell off your team. I know I've seen a few people kind of sell off their team a week or two ago, or even like early on this week when, well, you don't really need to, right? You can hold your team and play weekend league up until Saturday, and then you could sell off your team. To talk about the training market a little bit more, because really the entire market revolves around training. We do pretty much every single champion set through training. The entire kind of the market crash, right? The market crash really is coming from the training crash. Training right now sitting at about 3.2. I can wholeheartedly expect that number to be under 2 at a minimum come Sunday morning, and that is going to just tank a lot of the markets for a lot of these programs. And kind of we take a look back at last year. Shout out Gutfoxx, kind of has a great kind of not really great video, but it's just kind of he opens a lot of eggs, kind of shows us how bad the market does crash Easter morning. Going into Easter, training was at about 5.7, 5.8, and Easter morning with the 99 overall Tom Brady MVP, training crashed all the way down to 2.7. Now, we're already lower than that. We're at 3.2, but you can really easily expect training to go under 2. I think it could get all the way down to 1.5, 1.6, just because we have zero demand. The difference between last year and this year is last year, we had the training variety pack, so we had an instant demand, even though training crashed last Easter, because of course it's going to. There was an instant kind of, okay, there's still a use for training in the training variety pack. But this year, we have nothing. Okay, eggs, gone. LTDs, gone. Even the Madden machine reroll, gone. There's literally going to be the only training reroll is going to be Wildcard Wednesdays, which those are also involved with eggs. Those will crash. It'll just be Sugar Rush players, and well, those will also crash because training's going to crash. It's not going to be valued as much. So the only training demand there is, again, is Sugar Rush players, but that is absolutely zero demand. So the training market as a whole is going to drop below 2. Could even get to 1.5, 1.6, and it's also probably going to stay there for a few days until we get that training demand in the next program. So which types of cards are we going to 100% be selling before Easter morning, and is there any sort of deadline or timeline that we have when it comes to selling these cards? Hopping into the first type of card we're going to be talking about in this video, and it does have an accelerated timeline, and that is Ultimate Legends. What do I mean by accelerated timeline? Well, we still have that solo challenge exchange pack that I think a lot of people are actually holding on to in hopes that this Saturday there'd be better 98 Ultimate Legends or better 99 Ultimate Legends, of course, in that fantasy pack exchange pack. So I do think you should be selling off your Ultimate Legends before Saturday morning. I'd say try to sell it by Friday afternoon before the announcements, preferably maybe even Thursday afternoon, Friday morning for Ultimate Legends. But for the rest of the cards in this video, and this also does apply to investments, because while I'm not really selling off my team, it just doesn't make sense for me from a time standpoint to sell off my team and waste that time to kind of just save a little bit amount of coins in terms of my budget. Every single card in terms of investments and what cards you are going to be selling off, you don't really need to be in a rush. I know a lot of people have kind of sold off their team really like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You don't have to worry because there's going to be a training demand up until Sunday morning. So Friday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the market is relatively going to stay the same. So you don't need to rush and panic sell your entire team tomorrow morning. You can really play a few weekly games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then sell off your team Saturday night. Let's get into the list though of players we are 100% going to be selling. And these cards are more affected by the Easter eggs as their program they're associated with is going to be just absolutely crashing on Sunday because there's an Easter egg tied into that program. That is going to be in no particular order, right? I'm just going to be listing off these programs because there's not really much to talk about, right? Their market's crashing because of the eggs. We have Redux players, Ultimate Legends, of course, we just talked about. Legends, Super Bowl cards, Combine, Free Agents, Madden Machine, and Sugar Rush. Sugar Rush, there's probably not an egg, but since the training market is crashing and there is a direct way to use training to get Sugar Rush players, the Sugar Rush market is going to be collapsing. These players, it does not apply to LTDs. It's simply going to be the heroes, and more importantly, the champions of these cards are going to be tanking because the eggs are just going to be just the quantity, the amount of players from each of these programs that is going to be applied onto the market or supplied onto the market is going to be absurd. I don't think you guys realize how bad the market is going to crash on Sunday. Taking a look back at even just the crash from last weekend with the Ultimate Legends Solo Challenge packs, which you have one of those packs, right? One of those packs, you saw some Ultimate Legends go from about 500 and 450k all the way down to 200,000. Now take that one Solo Challenge Ultimate Legend pack. Now imagine someone has, and I know a lot of people are going to have multiple, right? Multiple of the Redux packs, multiple of the Redux Extra Large gifts, or eggs. That market is going to absolutely tank. These are players that you're 100% going to want to sell before Sunday morning, and you're going to want to buy back Sunday morning for your team. When I was recording and editing this video, I completely forgot to mention Wildcard Wednesday. If you have any flashback, heavyweights, veterans, or rising stars, make sure you do sell them off before Sunday because, of course, we think that they are getting an Easter egg. So, quick reminder, had to jump in real quick. Wildcard Wednesday players, make sure to sell. The next group of players we're going to be talking about are not directly associated with eggs, but their market is going to be dropping slightly, not because of the added supply onto the market, just because the training market is going to die a little bit, so they can't really hold their value too much. These programs, Bonos, Team of the Year, Backyard Ballers, and Gridiron Guardians 2. Now, these ones aren't like, I don't know, you can hold on to these, but you can expect players, for example, I kind of a comparison. I am recording this Wednesday night, so if this player does get a Sugar Rush player, I'm going to look like not a smart person. But Darrell Reeves, for example, he's going for about 105k right now in the market. Sunday morning, well, let's just say he doesn't get a card. Sunday morning, I probably think Revis goes from like 80 to 85k, but you got to understand, no added supply. Like, no one is actually opening any packs or doing any Bono sets, and probably if anyone has Revis on their team, they're going to be selling them prior to Sunday, so not a lot of added Darrell Revis 95 Bonos are going to be like put onto the market, so his price can't absolutely tank. But you gotta understand, 95 overalls, which right now are going from that 80 to 85k mark, they're gonna be going down to like 55k. So Revis holding his value at 100k isn't really realistic, but he's gonna drop to like probably 85k. You could hold on to a player like Darrell Revis. I still think it's worth it to sell off, but if there's a player that's like 50-50 or program that's 50-50, I would say like Bonos, maybe you don't sell, but Team of the Years usually are kind of directly correlated with training. I'd sell off Team of the Years. I'd sell off players like Gridiron Guardians 2, the programs I mentioned, but let's move on to the players I am actually not going to be selling. And finally, the only players or types of cards that I actually would advise you guys to not sell is LTDs. More specifically, the recent LTDs. There are LTDs you can sell, players I think that are getting common upgrades. So like, for example, Barry Sanders as a running back, Reggie White as a left end. Maybe if you have an LTD running back, you might want to sell off. But a lot of the LTDs, like Lamar Jackson, I think Jalen Ramsey, the LTDs coming out this upcoming weekend, you are actually going to want to buy this weekend, and you're going to hold on through Easter. It's one of my investments. I am holding Jalen Ramsey and Lamar Jackson and the new LTDs that I am going to invest in through Easter morning. A perfect example of kind of why I am holding is if we go flashback to Christmas Day, Ghost LTDs. Ghost LTDs were some of our best investments the entire year. Now, why did Ghost LTDs go up so much? You have to understand from a mindset perspective from everyone really in Madden 22 right now. Nobody is buying their team. Okay, no one is buying their team. No one is really upgrading their team until Easter morning. So if we go back to like last weekend, we saw Jalen Ramsey, Lamar Jackson. They had like an initial rise, like a 12-hour rise. Jalen Ramsey went for probably like 380 all the way up to about 525, 550. That's because people were still investing in them, still buying them for their team. But as soon as Monday hit, as soon as Tuesday hit of this week, people realized, and kind of like a lot of YouTubers drop videos, right? Easter market crash coming. Just wait to buy your team. So in their mind, and usually everyone's, I mean, if I was building a team, I would probably wait until Sunday to buy my team. And when that does happen, they're not just going to randomly go out and buy Jalen Ramsey like beforehand. They're just going to be buying their entire team on Sunday morning. So that's why you've seen Lamar Jackson, you've seen Jalen Ramsey, and you're going to see the LTDs this weekend, like after even they're go out of packs, like the Thursday LTDs on Saturday, probably won't move that much. People just simply aren't selecting the buy option on their card until Sunday morning is kind of a, I don't know, a psychological thing. They just aren't going to be adding to their team until Sunday morning, kind of doing a shopping spree. So Devontae Adams, Micah Parsons, and Tim Tebow Christmas morning. Now, I think if I can remember right, Devontae Adams I was picking up at about the 550k mark. Micah Parsons I want to say I was picking up in the low 400s. Same with Tebow, low 400s. Micah Parsons on Christmas morning because everyone kind of planned like, hey, I'm picking up Micah Parsons, I'm picking up Devontae Adams. They went out Christmas morning, and when they were buying their entire team, they were going to pick up those players, and they were out of pack, so there was no added supply of those cards onto the market. Devontae Adams goes from about 525, 550k all the way up to 900k, and Micah Parsons goes from like 400 to 750, 800k. An insane rise, probably the best LTD rise we've seen this entire year. And I think the same thing is going to go for the likes of especially Jalen Ramsey, because I know a lot of people, Jalen Ramsey, well, Lamar Jackson is more of a opinion-based quarterback. Like, you probably know your quarterback. If you have Lamar Jackson, I feel like you'd already have Lamar Jackson on your team. While Jalen Ramsey is really a top 3 cornerback throughout the entire, like, I think, and like unanimously, he's a top 3, top 5 corner. A lot of people, when they're getting their coins on Sunday back from eggs, they're going to be going out and scooping Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey really, like, very easily, right now he's sitting around the 500k mark. I think he goes over 600. I think he goes over 650. One of the most popular players in Madden. A lot of people are going to build their teams around Jalen Ramsey and the LTDs this weekend coming out. But that is going to be all from this video when it comes to the market. Don't worry, we have Sugar Rush Part 2 video content kind of reveal, market breakdown this afternoon. And you can expect a plethora of market videos kind of leading up to the Easter market crash. If you have any questions on a particular card, feel free to comment down below. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace.